let's have a conversation.
Hello, everybody. How's it going? I know that I have been very behind on all these recaps. Last week was just a week to regroup and recover. I took the week off work. Um, just a lot going on last week. This week, I'm not going to say I'm 100%, but I have been catching back up on all my TV shows. And I actually have notes for everything that I've been taking. But every time I bring myself to try to do a live, sometimes I don't feel like it. Sometimes I'm not up for it. But I'm hoping that by June, once all the services have been complete and everything like that, I'm going to be regaining some normalcy. And my aim is that going into the Big Brother season, once that starts out, you know, I'm going to be back consistently posting weekly or, the same way how I was doing last year. That's my aim. I can't really guarantee that, but thanks for your patience and support in the meantime. This is just going to be a quick recap of last week's episode of Challenge World Championships. Not last week's, but this week's episode of Challenge World Championships. I was thinking of two different things at once. I have notes for last week's episode, but I'm not really going to go over last week's episode. I'm just going to jump right into the episode that dropped on Wednesday, I believe it is. Wednesday, yes. So I have the first thing I have written down here is USA versus the Challenge. And the reason I say that is because they might as well have just made this season the Challenge USA versus the MTV Challenge, because that has been what's been going on all season. It's like right away, right off the bat, right from jump, these Challenge USA people felt threatened by the mainstay Challenge people, even though those people have been their teammates on this season. So it's not really a versus season, but they've kind of turned it into one, especially Danny and Sarah. Okay, so Tori and Danny are still trying to get on the same page. They're having different conversations. Um, I have here that Kellyanne and Kiki have formed some sort of bond. So, as we've seen from all the way the challenge has been over the last few years, especially, we know that these early conversations that they're showing in the episode are foreshadowing for what's going to be happening later in the episode. Um, we have the daily. They did their daily challenge, and Jordan and Kaz ended up winning the daily challenge. So that meant they have a power in their hands. Kiki and Darrell finished last. So the deliberations are we're going to be the two teams that Jordan and Kaz are going to have the choice of who to pick to face Darrell and Kiki in the elimination. Darrell has kind of a funny. What did That's why I need to do these as soon as I watch the episodes. Kiki said something about, I can't remember the phrase, but it's some kind of Australian phrase, like we're in a pair or something, or we got ourselves in a pair. I wish I could remember the exact phrase. And Darrell was like, "What? I like pears. Pear shape means you got ass." um, so Kellyanne is going around the house and campaigning and trying to get it seems like she's trying to get a lot of different combinations, but Tori and Danny, she seems to want to get them to have to go in, but it just seems like she's trying to blow smoke around and get anybody but her. thrown in there. So what happens is Tori and Danny finally agree. They agree to nominate themselves and get others to nominate them. Danny feels safe in this because he knows that Jordan would never vote Tori in. And this is an insurance policy to get Tristan and Kellyanne out of there and not have to ruffle any feathers. So Tristan and Kellyanne end up getting selected as expected, and they go against Kiki and Darrell. Kiki and Darrell win the elimination round. So finally, Kellyanne and Tristan are gone. So Kellyanne and Tristan are gone. Jody and Benha are gone. So that means the season's scapegoats are not there anymore. You know, those two teams are gone. Wes and Bananas are gone. So now from here, people are going to have to choose lines and play the game. And that's basically what these conversations amounted to with Jordan, Tori, Danny, Sarah, like those groups. They were like, we're agreeing to do this particular move for this particular week. But ultimately, Danny and Sarah still want Jordan out of there. So eventually it's going to get to a point where it depends. It depends on who wins. I'm very interested to see in the upcoming couple of weeks who wins the dailies and who has the power, because we're going to get to a point where somebody on these partnerships is going to be happy and somebody on the partnership is going to be unhappy. And I don't really understand moving that way in a partner game, because I don't know if any of these Challenge USA or these people from these other country ones that have played one season know this, but you can't win without your partner. So even if you're like, oh, Jordan is always going to be Tori's number one, well, that could be true, but Tori is not on the team with Jordan. So therefore, you have to win with her. So if you make moves to get him out, she's angry with you and you're not on the same page, and you got to do a final together. We have seen when a partner group does not get along well, how that translates when we get to a final. So I don't really understand their methodology. I would understand it more if it was like they're literally against me, they're not my teammate, or if it's like everybody is playing an individual game. I get it. Take those guys out and y'all want to run together, whatever. But Danny and Sarah aren't partners. Like, these people who are all conspiring against the MTV Challenge people aren't partners. And essentially, I think Wes said this on his Patreon recap last week. It's like they think of it as condescending because they've been on other shows before. Like they've been on Survivor before. They've been on whatever show they've been on, made it far, maybe even won the show. So they're like, I'm not a rookie. Or they've done a season of Challenge USA. So it's like, I'm not a rookie. So there should be nobody showing me the ropes, because I know how it goes. Don't think you're all big and bad because you've done this before. But Wes made the point where he was like, it doesn't mean that you're stupid. It just means that you haven't done this show before. So it makes sense for you, as somebody who is new or newer to this particular show, to get as much knowledge as you can from people who have done it multiple times, lots of times, and won. And eventually, once you get their knowledge, you'll be ahead of the game and you'll be up to speed with their game. And he was like, even though I've done 20 plus seasons of the challenge, if I went on Survivor, I wouldn't know how to play Survivor, and I would seek out the knowledge of somebody who has. Whereas they're just like, we want to just eliminate all the people who have done it before because they're a threat and we don't like them and we don't trust them and we don't want to work with them. Maybe that's the Survivor mentality. I don't know. I started watching Survivor last year. I'm on. This is the second season I've watched of it. It's kind of interesting. I've become a regular Survivor watcher. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a short one, like I said. I will get out as many of these as I can. I can't say that I will get them out every single week at this point because I'm still grieving, funeral planning, all that stuff. But I'll do these as much as I can. And don't worry about it when I can't do it. Self care, I won't be on here. But right now, I'm okay. I'm actually on my lunch break at work. So I was like, let me just throw this in here and we will talk soon. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Don't be afraid to be yourself always.